Stay in a job that might disappear, or quit and start over with nothing. It feels like a trap with no exit. But here's what nobody tells you. When you only see two options, you're already thinking wrong. There are more doors. You just can't see them yet. Let's change that. Welcome back to Book Takeaways for Professional Growth Podcast. This is episode 2 of our series on Decisive by Chip and Dan Heath. In episode 1, we introduced the 4 villains of decision-making and the RAP framework. If you haven't listened to that episode yet, I recommend going back. It sets the foundation for everything in this series. Today's question is one I hear from professionals everywhere. From people in Asia, Africa, Latin America, Europe. It doesn't matter where. The question is, I feel trapped between 2 bad options. Should I stay in my job that might be replaced by AI, or should I quit and risk starting over from zero? Or maybe your version sounds like this. Should I learn AI skills or focus on what I already know? Should I accept this new role I'm not ready for, or stay where I'm safe but going nowhere? These feel like impossible choices. And the problem is not that the choices are actually impossible. The problem is we are not seeing all the choices. Segment 1. The problem. Choosing between 2 bad options. In Decisive, the Heath brothers call this narrow framing, and it is the first villain. Narrow framing means our brain turns a complex situation into a simple this or that question. Stay or leave. Say yes or say no. Old skills or new skills. It feels like logic. It feels efficient. But it is actually a trap. Because when we only see 2 options, we compare them to each other. And often, both options look bad from the inside. The Heath brothers share a statistic that stayed with me. In one study of major business decisions, 71% of decision makers only considered one option before deciding, not 2, not 3. 1. They asked, should we do this or not? And that question already had the answer built inside it, because when you only have one option, you will probably choose it even if it is wrong. Now think about your own AI era decision. Is it framed as this or that? If yes, you may be falling into narrow framing right now. Segment 2. The takeaways. Tools to widen options. The first step of RAP is W. Widen your options. And the Heath brothers give us 2 powerful tools to do this. Tool 1. Multi-tracking. Instead of comparing 2 options one by one, explore several paths at the same time. For example, you are worried your marketing job will be replaced by AI. Instead of stay or leave, you multi-track. Path A. Stay and learn AI marketing tools over the next 90 days. Path B. Have a conversation with your manager about expanding your role. Path C. Start a small freelance project on weekends to test a new direction. Path D. Network quietly in one new industry, just to see what is possible. Now you are not trapped. You have movement, and you don't have to commit to one path yet. You just explore them in parallel. Research shows that when people and teams consider multiple options at the same time, they make better decisions and they make them faster, not slower, faster, because they don't go back and forth on the same 2 choices forever. Tool 2. The vanishing options test. Ask yourself, what if I could not choose any of these options? What would I do? This question forces your brain to be creative. It pulls you out of the spotlight and into the wider space of possibilities. Let me give you an example from the book. There is a manager, let's call her Maria, who is trying to decide whether to fire her IT director, Clive, who is performing poorly. Fire him or keep him. That is how she sees it. But when a colleague asks, what if neither option was available? Suddenly, Maria sees other paths. What if Clive moved to a different team? What if he had a mentor? What if his role was restructured to match his real strengths? The decision changes completely when the frame changes. This is what AI-era decisions need. A bigger frame. Not, AI will replace me or not. But, how do I redesign my value in a world with AI? Segment 3, the action you can do this week. Remember the decision you wrote down in episode 1? Take it out. Now I want you to rewrite it. Change it from a this or that question to an open question. For example, instead of, should I quit my job or stay? Write, what are 5 different ways I can respond to this situation? Then, write 5 responses. Even if some seem impossible or strange, write them anyway. You are training your brain to see beyond the spotlight. In episode 3, we will ask a different question, one about information. Because even when you have more options, there is still a danger. What if the information you are using to evaluate those options is wrong? That is our next villain. Confirmation bias. And in the age of AI, it is more dangerous than ever. Thank you for listening to the second episode of the Book Takeaways for Professional Growth podcast series on Decisive, How to Make Better Choices in Life and Work by Chip Heath and Dan Heath. Subscribe so you don't miss episode 3. And share this with someone who feels stuck between 2 bad options right now. They might need this more than you think. See you next time. Keep growing. Your feedback matters. Let us know what you think so far about this series by writing a comment below. It will help us get better at what we do. Once again, thank you for joining us today.